A female soldier was attacked by dogs because she was only wearing the top half of her protective clothing. However, the dog, who was not a martial artist, rushed up to her and beat her on the buttocks. He refused to let go. "Oh, this is the dog bass prick. He's a prude all the time. There are no strangers." Aloud, he didn't just intimidate new recruits. Even the dog trainer attempts to help him. When he tried to bandage his finger, he bit it. He had to return home on leave, and it was bad luck for Anna, the new recruit. He was given the task of replacing the dog handler. Anna was a wimp when confronted with this canine theme. As soon as she got close to the crate, oh boy. Anna is immediately terrified. I'm unable to control the dog. She had no choice but to do what she had to do. Transporting an iron dog around the field for training purposes, her comrades were laughing at her. They inquired as to whether the dog was male or female, and even looked up at him with his head held high. His expression was as if he was saying, "I don't have pestle of bones. You're not going to be able to do it." So Anna gathered her courage once more. She took the dog's bull and returned to fight him. She told Max to back up, but the dog still frightens her. Anna sat down and wrestled with him. For the rest of the day, they just stared at each other. A good dog cannot go hungry. Axe eventually caved. He retreated slowly to his kennel. This round was won by Anna. The remainder of the encounter, the dog became much more docile and began to exhibit incredible strength. Their first bomb, hunting exercise. Anna follows the search pattern and separates the dog. However, the dog dashed to the other side. The instructor tells her to trust the dog's instincts, and Act sniffs around the table. Then he sits down and says, "Something's wrong here. A game of chance." The bomb had arrived, and they had been the first to pass the test. Anna immediately complimented X. Instead of being afraid of him, the instructor told him he was a great detection dog and to connect with his heart. However, when they arrived at the vet training room, the dog barked viciously once more. Regardless, the vet gave him a failing grade. Anna had to train alone because her comrade's finger had been bitten was still fresh in her mind. Anna was nervous once more. To her surprise, she took the gauze and told her to get down. This time, Axe performed admirably. Anna was taken aback. She carefully wrapped him up. She completed the training without incident. She took the dog out of his crate and let him stay with her to get to know him better. Alex made no hesitation. He took his place without saying anything. It was soon time to go to war. X was unfamiliar with the airplane environment. He began barking once more. Anna took a blanket and draped it over the crate. She got herself into the crate. She kept her cool to calm him down. They charged into battle as soon as they arrived on the battlefield, looking for hidden guns. They discover the roadside bombs, Axes gaining more and more credit, and the two of them are becoming increasingly in tune with each other on this day. Their mission is to search this wilderness area. Anna is leading the way with her axe until an explosion sends her and the dog a dozen meters away. The smoke was pouring out. Anna struggled to get up because she was in pain. Her first move was to crawl towards Axe. The dog was motionless on the ground. Anna called out his name, rushing over to check on his injuries. Thankfully, the dog opened his eyes. No bones were broken after a while. They'd both survived. Anna chose to ignore her own wounds. She began by bandaging the dog. However, the officer arrived to accuse Anna of making a mistake with his dog. It nearly killed them. That's when one of the soldiers noticed the issue. The bomb had been purposefully planted very deep, far beyond the range of the dogs. Someone had to have been controlling it from afar. The dogs were waiting for them to pass before detonating. The scout dogs were clearly attacked, and the target is most likely in the rubble ahead. The officer decided to investigate without waiting for backup, but Anna knew that without the dogs leading the way, that stretch of road had to be littered with bombs. They'd all be destroyed, so he lowered his head. He didn't say anything as he held the injured axe, but the dog understood what he meant. The two men stood up, moved on, and began to fight back. Under the protection of the squad, Hicks detonated several more bombs. The team eventually made it to safety in front of the ruins in the first floor corner. They see the device that detonated the bomb, but the building is now deserted. And then they screamed at an uncovered soldier yelling at Anna to stop him. However, the dog was barking even louder. The soldier was also perplexed. believing that the dog had lost his cool due to the explosion, but then suddenly broke free from the rope and dragged him down. Then there were the rebels in ambush with a rocket launcher. The dog has been saved. The team immediately responds, but Axe is still barking and dragging Anna down the stairs. The team closed in on them just as they reached the ground floor. The rockets landed on the stairs behind them. They are no longer in danger. The firepower was excessive. The team had to go into hiding and fight back. They are met by a car. The men take cover, preparing to flee in the nick of time. Anna is the one who gets the dog into the car first. A rocket attacked her before she could jump on it. I did not fall to the ground. When she saw the car, her dog jumped out and ran to her side. Despite the shelling, she was eager to check on her owner. She stood up after protecting her. They were caught in the crossfire of a hail of bullets. They finally arrived at the car. They were able to flee the attack at the base. Anna was immediately ordered to return home for treatment. X will continue his service in the field. The orders were unequivocal. Anna walked to the helicopter without looking back. She was afraid that if she saw X, she would refuse to leave the access that he was leaving as well. As he struggled with the rope, he whimpered. They had experienced both life and death together. Anna recovered after months of treatment. However, he never returned home. Because he had outlived his service, she kept calling the army to inquire about it. Finally, X reappeared one day. When he saw Anna, he had a bandage on his front leg. He leaped to his feet and ran towards her. He was overjoyed. The doctor thoroughly examined X. Despite the fact that his body had been wounded numerous times on the battlefield, he was still left behind. He outperformed himself and completed his mission. He returned home with another injured military dog, but his master did not join him. He was killed on the battlefield. For a long time, the poor dog was unable to live a normal life. He couldn't live a normal life while looking for his master, and it witnessed the dog's demise. Her heart prickled at night, and she was restless. He was suddenly wailing at the door. He discovered that, like Blackie, he was afraid of losing his master and could only keep assuring him that she would not abandon him. Then X fell asleep, staring at the poor dog's face. Anna finally decided to apply for retirement in order to bring Max with her, allow him to live the rest of his life in peace. But he had no idea it would be a decision she would regret for the rest of her life. And his discharge application went well. But the nefarious army doctor did it again. During her examination, she poked X into the wound. The dog was wailing in agony, but that was all she had to go on. She came to the conclusion that Axe was violent and should not be allowed to adopt. Are you having some kind of power trip or something? Isn't it your responsibility to help these animals? You assisted him where he had hurt you by reacting. Let's detonate 40 worth of explosives 5 feet beneath you and see how you like them. Please, I beg of you, please remove it from his file. In the end, Anna was unable to adopt X, and he was sent back to war. He was unable to be adopted, so he had two options: die in battle or be euthanized. The thought of this devastated Anna. She descended into depression. She went through her days without food or drink, and without Axe by her side. Her life seemed pointless to her. Her father couldn't take it anymore, telling him that if things get tough, if you're in trouble, you have to do everything you can to fight it. Have you ever attempted it? Anna was jolted awake by her father's words. She shared Alex's story on the web. She tracked down the congressman once more. She demonstrated what Axe had done. This was a hero who had saved the lives of thousands of people. He had only a few years left to live. He would have been euthanized if she hadn't adopted him. The television station soon took notice. Savannah. She was subjected to numerous interviews. The story about the dog drew more attention. The story that dogs should have the right to be free was picked up by major media outlets. They are deserving of love and care. They deserve to live their lives in peace, despite the pressures. The military eventually agreed to retire Rex and allow Anna to adopt him again on the training grounds. She was eager to meet Axe. It's not far away. Anna is also noticed by the dog. He quickly approaches him. He swung his arms around joyfully. As she hugged the dog, Anna began to cry. Don't forget to sign up. For more videos like this, click here